following political paid advertisements do not reflect the political opinions of the program or its associates. Any political campaign or candidate who wishes to purchase advertising can do so. Advertising is open to all on behalf of Gloves Off.
We're back at you in Gloves Off. I'm Professor Buitrón. I'm here with Eduardo Chapa, and he's running for Webb County Democrat chair. How are you doing?
How's it going? Very good. How about you, sir?
Good, everything's fine. I've heard a lot about you. I know that you're running.
Yes, sir.
It's early vote, and I've seen a lot of energy coming from your campaign. Tell me what got you motivated to run?
So, Eduardo Chapa, decided to run and decided to register a long time ago. We decided to register a long time ago because we actually care about the party and we actually care about the community. It's our way of saying thank you, and it's our way to say, you know what, we're here to serve. I studied political science and international relations at St. Mary's University, graduated from there in 2012. You know, I'm a proud St. Augustine High School alumni. And it's always been of my interest, public service. It's always been of my interest, and I always like to help people. Now I do it with Webb County Sheriff's Office as Public Information Officer. Of course, knowing the fact that the party, needs direction, needs energy,
Sure.
and we're here to bring it. And since we registered, and before that, since the pre-campaign, hosting fundraisers, putting our own signs, talking to people, doing the block walks, sign rallies. Those have been very fun, and a lot of support. A lot of support from the community. People stopping by, taking pictures with us, saying, you know what, you got our vote, you got our vote of the family and the community. So my answer's always been thank you so much, and let's hear your concerns, because this is no one man show. This is you cannot do it by yourself. You have to be out there.
You have to be out there moving, and you have to be able to move the party in one direction.
Most definitely.
And I've seen the parties change the way. You've seen some good individuals when Robert Bali had it.
Yes,
It was
sir.
very energetic. You've seen some other ones that run into a problem and they don't want to deal with it.
Yes, sir.
You had one time that you had some that needed to. Guess what? You can't run.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't want to do it because of the political influences. They kind of shied away.
Right.
What would happen if that occurred to you? If a candidate comes in there and guess what? You can't run. What are you going to be the type that's going to say, you know what? You can't run.
The thing is that we need to be open to any suggestions, open to constructive criticism. And like I said, this is not a one-man show. We need to listen to the concerns of the constituents, people that voted for us and people that didn't vote for us. Because at the end of the day, we're Democrats and we need to come together. And that's why we have always run a very clean campaign since the get-go. We've always been positive, we've always been proactive, we've always been, suggesting new ways of dealing with certain issues. So it will be an open door policy. It will be a party of the people. And I think we need to, instead of pointing fingers of what happened then and what's going to happen now, we need to come together and find a solution to better be prepared for November election, for the presidential election.
Sure. I understand where you're coming from.
Yes, sir.
And in the past, there was a lot of division.
Yes, sir.
There are very few that would even want to work with their counterpart of the Republican Party. If you get like our Republican chair right now is
Mr. Young.
Mr. Young. Are you gonna come together with him and say, you know what, let's work together, and
Most definitely.
let's set some debates,
Yes, sir.
let's move forward, because that's what needs to happen.
Yes, sir.
And it hasn't happened. It's been lax, on both sides, and I tell young, because he's a very good friend of mine, I tell him, we need to push. I would like to see 10 Republicans running and 10 Democrats running, and that's what needs to happen.
Right, from our perspective, I mean, we're going to push Democrats.
No, I understand.
Our platform has been and it will always be Democrats. And I'm here to serve my community, but especially, the Democratic vote. However, it doesn't mean that we need to be, close-minded. We need to work across the aisle with everybody. And Mr. Young deserves all the respect as long as we can come together and look into the best interest of the community, which I know he will because he's a good guy. And of course, bringing everybody together means more participation, voter turnout, interest in the voter,
That's
interest in
the
the
problem.
electorate.
We're not doing that hot,
No,
okay?
No.
It is a presidential year.
yes, sir.
And we're not doing that big of, we're actually doing pretty bad. You know what I'm saying?
Sir,
We're
yes,
kind of
sir.
doing 2 years.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, we have lost the voters.
Mm-hmm.
And some people that tell me, I don't want to vote, it's always the same thing.
Yes, sir.
It's always the same name, it's always the same thing, all the same people running, it's all, come, yeah. Same over and over, you hear that. I said, listen, go out there and vote.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't vote, then your voice is not gonna be heard. That's the way you have.
You're totally
You
right.
understand? And here's changing that a little bit. And you said you want to bring back down the people together. I'm hearing this new word that comes out. Actually, it's 2 words from one. Socialist Democrat. What is that?
Well, I think it's a very within the party. It's a group of people that decide to vote more to the left, which they have their right, and of course we understand that and we're going to respect that always. Once we take office, we're going to be the chair for everybody, all Democrats. And if we have learned from the past, Mr. Buitrón, on presidential years and races, we tend to come together and in the need of going against somebody. We need to come together on a positive note, not only against somebody in particular. I think if Democrats, we can find a middle ground and work towards a solution that whoever is the nominee of the party will have our full support. At the end of the day, I mean, no matter who, but we're going to vote blue. We need to come together and say, you know what? Let's find a middle ground from socialist or middle centralist Democrats. At the end of the day, they're Democrats, and we need to listen from them.
Let me tell you what occurred, because that's a good, your rationale is great. Something similar happened to the Republican Party about 10 years ago. Okay, all of a sudden you had some Democrats who went far right. All of a sudden became the Tea Party.
The Tea Party with the Republicans, yes.
And then all of a sudden now they have a Tea Party. Now you have a Tea Party and Republicans and Democrats. Do you think that's what's going to happen with these social Democrats? That they're going to get too far left, all of a sudden it's just going to break off and they're going to become their own entity?
See, I think they're, they need to be heard, and we need to understand
Sure.
where they're coming from. And
Nobody's saying
Listening,
no, but you know what
right,
I'm saying? What's going to happen? That's more of the thing.
listening to all the concerns, we tend to work for a better community and a stronger Webb County. And we need to know the reasons and know what's happening here in Webb County. I think we need to listen to the concerns of the people and not try to, say, okay, this is happening nationwide, it has to happen here in Webb County. Not necessarily. I think the issues of Webb County are much different than the issues of, per se, Colorado, California, New York, Washington, for that matter. I think we need to listen to the concerns of Webb County, and we're going to be serving as your next Webb County Democratic Party chair with the vote of the people, of course, and with the support that we've been getting for all Democrats. But the issues of Webb County, we need to put them first. So I think that the party is a strong party. We just need to find a middle ground. We just need to come all together, because coming November, and we have learned from the past, it happened with Hillary Clinton. I mean, it was so much divisiveness in the nation perspective, that when she went against Donald J., now President of the United States, she was towards weak instead of a strong foundation with a strong party moving forward. It was all that divisiveness from the get-go. So, you know, and we see the debates going on, and we see, you know, pointing fingers at each other. I only wish that we can come together, and that's why we, in our race, we have kept, you know, the momentum going, because people see the cleanness, people see that we are, you know, always on a positive note and not pointing fingers to anybody.
That's the way it should be, you know. And I don't want to go into the Hillary and the Trump election, but you know, it's, you know, we're dealing with a mastermind, and he's still there. That's why he's going to win by a landslide, and that's the way it's going to be. And we just have to say, you know what, he's our president, hopefully for the next 4 years, right? If it happens, because he just has so much momentum that he's just picked up, nobody's catching up. But we here, like I said, like I told you before, we need to take care of Webb County.
Yes, sir.
What's going to happen to Webb County? We need people that can bring in federal funding. We need people that can bring state funding. We need people that can bring businesses. And really, at the end of the thing, we see each other at coffee shops, and we say hi to each other in Christmas, and there's no animosity there because everybody's all together in one
Right.
unit. That's what matters in Webb County.
Yes, sir.
What matters in Laredo, as per se, right?
Yes, sir.
And that needs to be moved forward, because a lot of people do not understand that for the longest time, we've only had a Democratic Party,
Right.
period. You know, just in the last 2 races, we've had a couple of Republicans that have come out in the past 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
Understand?
Yes, sir.
And people outside Laredo and Webb County do not understand that.
Right.
They say, well, what do you mean? Yeah, there was nobody. Yeah, we had the only candidate that would ever run was for the Republican chair, party chair. You know,
Right.
Then, nowhere.
Right.
So it's very interesting when you get to that thing that you've always had party divisions
Mm-hmm.
within the party.
Yes, sir.
You know, these people back this person, these people back this person. They wanted more control of what is what.
Right.
And it was still the same party,
Yes, sir.
right? And I don't know which way you can want it, but whoever wanted to manipulate who, what on the terms of the level. So Laredo's always been that way. So right now, for those that want to go out and vote, you have to vote for the person that's going to bring in more, for the person that's going to bring in more ideas to build businesses,
Most definitely.
who's going to be amicable enough to negotiate what companies are going to bring down to Laredo and Webb County.
Yes, sir.
That's what we need.
Yes, sir. Most
¿Me
definitely.
entiendes lo que te digo? And
Yes, sir.
everything else is kind of like,
Right.
understand?
Right, no, most definitely. And that's, I mean, we've been hearing from different candidates and different platforms and interest groups as well. And I mean, everybody, each candidate, it takes a certain character, responsibility, you know, breed, if I may, to run for an office, you know. And I want to congratulate all the candidates out there, because, you know, it takes courage. It takes, you know, and it's not only one person. It's a family, it's friends, it's everybody together. So they deserve all the respect. Remember, coming from our end, every candidate deserves all the respect.
Absolutely.
You know, and being the next party chair, you know, hopefully with the vote of the people, coming March 4th, we need to bring everybody together and say, you know what, we're not waiting for something to happen, or we're not waiting for the nominee. We need to come together right now and say, what's in the best interest of Webb County?
If you win,
Yes, sir.
and God wills it, when would you take off? Is it immediate right after, or you take off in January?
It really depends if there's a runoff in any election going on. And my understanding is that it's within weeks, sometimes, you know, months. But we need to, I mean, regardless.
No, if there's no runoff and you're there, what happens?
So it's practically almost immediately.
Immediately, okay.
Almost immediately.
Okay. So it does happen right away.
Yes, sir.
Except you're not going to wait till January of 2020.
No, we're most definitely not. I mean, whatever happens, we're not going to wait for January. And we're looking for a smooth transition. I mean, that's why, at the end of the day, you know, any opponent deserves all the respect. And at the end of the race is, you know, calling each other and say, well, what's in the best interest of the party, and what's in the best interest of their community. You know, the race aside and our differences aside, what can we do together to bring a stronger foundation, a stronger party with a stronger democracy, and go against apathy? and go against lack of information. We're going against that.
How would you deal against fighting the apathy that we have now? Because people,
So it's-
I mean,
you know,
it's
it's-
there. That's the battle. What are you going to do?
And that's our number one priority. I think we need to fill out all the precinct chairs. I mean, those have been not filled up, and we need to bring people with leadership, people with willingness to work for the party. You know, and we need to learn how to come together when there's. We don't have to wait for a crisis. We need to prevent a crisis, and I think the crisis right now is voter turnout. I mean, we see what's happening for years now, and it's a apathy. Is it lack of information? Is it time consuming? Is it not
Because
filling the requirements? What is happening? So we need to
I-
listen from the concerns. We need to listen from the concerns and hear out those people and say, you know what can we do better with schools? LIZ, UISD, TAMIU, Rural College. What can we do better with our elderly? What can we do better to inspire them and get them excited about voting?
Let me tell you something that I had a voter. He said, "You know what? I'm tired about voting."
Yes, sir.
So why? He goes, "I have to vote for the city on this date, and I have to vote for the county on this date, and I have to vote for the school on this date. How come they can't come together as one and vote one time and that's it?" And I said, I think that's something that needs to happen, but I think it was done for the interest of certain people,
Right.
just to have more powers per se. And I think we as a community have to say, you know what, everybody's going to come down, the city and the county and the schools, and everybody's going to vote at the same time. Period.
Right.
Just like we pay taxes,
At once.
and that's the end of the story. And I think that's where you're going to get people coming out a little bit more,
Okay.
and instead of prolonging it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, and maybe it can work. I mean, then again, we have other people that say, no, there's a lot of candidates, and there's sheets of information, and I need to look into the bills, and as it is, it can be time consuming for a lot of people. And some people, the thing is that learning from the campaign and how we move forward and how we walk the walk and talk the talk, and listen to the concerns. They bring a lot of interesting topics, like you're saying, Mr. Buitron, that we need to take note and put them into practice in our best interest. Like I say, if we're going against apathy, let's know how to be proactive and be smart about it, so we can get voter turnout out there.
You have a lot of dangers. A lot of people say that in some states want to bring down the voters to 16. Wait a minute, but you don't allow me to drink until 21. You know what I'm saying? So, we can't trust you to drink until you're 21, but we want you to vote at 16.
Right.
Doesn't make sense.
It really
No,
doesn't.
you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So we have to be a little bit level-headed here and start looking at the reality of the thing. And what happens is that we need to start educating people how to
Yes,
vote.
sir.
I don't know, and I've been to several other countries, and I've seen that in other countries, everybody's mandated to vote. In France, you have to vote. In
Right.
Brazil, you have to vote.
Right.
In Brazil, if you don't vote, well, guess what? When you pay taxes, you paid an extra $100 because you didn't vote.
There's a fine.
There's a fine to it.
Yes.
We need to do something to make that happen here, because here people are spoiled and say, I don't care.
But then again, they complain all the
They,
time.
they complain all the time. So I think, I used to say, in fact, I want to make a hat that says, you can't bitch if you don't vote.
It's such an interesting cap.
And that's it.
Right.
If you do not vote, then you cannot go up there in your soapbox.
Right. Right.
Understand?
And I think it's our will. It's a democracy. It's we're free in this country, and thanks to the veterans and the people that have fought for this country to give us that right to vote.
Absolutely.
But then again, like you said, it's almost a responsibility. We need to be responsible, law-abiding citizens that say, you know what, I'm going to move forward. I'm going to step forward and say, I need this to happen. If it's either a bill or a candidate or
Referendum,
a referendum, whatever, you need to be participating.
Absolutely. And I want to tell you, I want to thank you for standing up, because many people always talk and very few sign the dotted line.
Yes, sir.
And when you get your mind set, you know what I'm doing there, because I need to change what's there.
Right.
That needs to happen. So, number one, I know that you have to go back out and campaign a little bit
Yes,
more.
sir.
And wish you the best of luck.
Thank you, Mr. Buitron. It's been
just
a pleasure,
from
sir.
talking from you.
Thank you.
You got my vote.
Thank you, sir.
All
Thank
right.
you very much.
Folks, until next time, peace.
The following political paid advertisements do not reflect the political opinions of the program or its associates. Any political campaign or candidate who wishes to purchase advertising can do so. Advertising is open to all on behalf of Gloves Off.